Yo, what up guys, B5D here. Update 10.10 is now live in Raid Shadow Legends, which brings or activates this Mad Hatter's Fusion event along with the Alice Adventure event that is also going on at the same time. In this video, I want to go over this champion fusion calendar that just launched and talk about everything else that you should be doing if you're going for this fusion. You can see that the update has activated and removed all the Christmas decorations that were all colorful and all that. We are back to the normal raid and bastion that we are used to, right? So that's the first thing I noticed once I logged into the game. Take note, even if you're not interested in this fusion, you most likely want to pick up one copy of the epic champion, the Knight Revenant faction, which will be the epic champion, which players will have to get 4 copies of to get the fusion. Yeah, it's an old school fusion mixed with a fragment fusion. The epic champion will be the fragments you pick up. 400 total fragments of Sabita is what you need. Now, most players will be trying to get 5 copies of this champion. It's not possible because you only have exactly 450 fragments available to you. You don't have 500 fragments available, except you're lucky enough to summon voice shards to get her. Even after this fusion, during the fusion, you might be able to get her in a different day if you don't get her now. I'm saying newer players like the Noob to Pro Season 4 account or those going for the HH Gaming Content Creator Challenge and General Free-to-Play Community Challenge. This might be the champion that most players are trying to get during this fusion. Without just going for the legendary, they just pick up the epic. And those who are skipping the fusion of Mad Hatter, please get one epic champion, one copy of Dawn Caller. Why? Because she's an amazing revive champion who doesn't just revive one ally but boosts the atometer to 100% and plays block damage on that ally for 2 whole turns. So that's very good epic champion. If you ask me, it's not one of those revives that is just, you know, normal. She also has this one that resets the cooldown of the revive champion skill. It's good. Whenever this champion revives an ally, it decreases the cooldown of one of their skill by 1 turn. It's not like a cool crazy amount of turn, but it's good. So revive and skill cooldown, these are the 2 things most players will be using her for, you know, in raid. And she does have an increased defense, increased attack for everybody else in the team, and an A1 that heals the ally with the lowest HP by 10% of her own max HP. So a general support champion. She's gonna be great for this free-to-play challenge that I am currently on and the HH Gaming challenge that we are going to start soon. Alright, so that's the first thing I wanted to put out there. Even if you're not interested in this fusion, please get one copy of her. You just need 100 fragments, either classic arena, champion training, whichever one you can do, get 1 copy or 2 copies. Maybe immediately you start getting copies of her, you get her to +1 or +2 if you are interested in something like that. Now, the next big thing I want to announce before I even look at the fusion calendar is that a 2x event is coming up for those players. Even if you're not going for the fusion, this is going to be the best time for you to summon your shards. This time around, this weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, it will be a 2x boosted chance of getting legendaries from your sacred shards. So on a normal day, which is today, you can see the chances of getting a legendary from my sacred shards is currently at a 6%, right? 6% chance. So on this weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, it will be boosted up to a 12% chance of getting legendaries from your sacred shard, which is the best time to get your legendaries in Raid Shadow Legends. No doubt about that. So my Noob to Pro will be doing our first shard summoning on this Friday, when we hope to get the first legendary from the 2 sacred shards we have, or the 3 during that 2x event. So that's the first big news that is dropping right now in raid. That will coincide with the champion chase during this fusion for sure, so take note of that. Whether you're a fusion enjoyer or a fusion hater, this 2x event is for you. Summon your sacred shards this time around. No other shards are boosted except this one. It will also coincide with a 10x of obtaining a new faction unity champion. This time around, it is going to be the new faction unity champion released for this Knight Revenant faction, and his name is Klet. So that's Losan, faction unity champion. Check out his skills, they're all amazing. Most of these faction unity champion, you definitely want them to boost your ally skills who are coinciding with them in the same Revenant faction. And check out his skill. We're not going to go over there because it's so hard to get these champions. It's not a 15x, it's a 10x, a good old fashioned 10x, a very low chance of getting him. So It's not a 15x continuous chance that keeps boosting your chance up to 25x of getting a legendary champion. This is going to be a flat 10x. So whether you keep summoning your sacred shards during this 2x, you might get 1 legendary, 2 legendaries, even up to 4 legendaries without getting this 10x champion. So be prepared for that. Except you're one of those lucky 1%, 2% of players who are lucky enough to get this faction unity champion on their first legendary during this Friday, Saturday, and summon. Now, if you do not want to get this champion as part of your 10x summons, it's always advised you wait until Sunday before you summon your shards. On Sunday, the 2x will still be active, but the 10x will no longer be active. So the 10x is only on Friday and Saturday. It's shorter. It's 1 day shorter than the entire 2x. So for those who do not want a faction unity champion, you can summon on Sunday instead. All right. So that's the news out of the way. Now let's go over to this fusion calendar to find what raid has cooked for us this time around. Will it be a difficult fusion, considering that most players are deciding to skip this one because it's not a champion that is going to help them in their Hydra? They already have a stacked up Hydra team, or they don't want him for his passive, which most players are saying. It's a mixed feeling. So we do not expect every fusion to be great in raid. I've already talked extensively about this champion in a previous video, but let's just look at the fusion calendar. Whatever you've decided, you can look at the events, whether they're going to be easy, because most players look at the event and say, these events are actually easy, I might go for this one. So the event's difficulty might be a reason to go for the fusion. So even if you're not going for a fusion, you find yourself amassing up to 300 fragments of these epic champions. You're like, oh no, I should have gone for the fusion. So take note of that. You have to decide now whether you want to start skipping from the first event, or you want to wait until the end, where they have a special event right here. The end. Let me just put that one as the first point of call. There is a special event. Why do I call it special? Because it has extra 50 fragments for anybody who skipped out on events that were going on along the whole weeks, right? So if you skipped out on something, or you are at work, you missed something, 50 fragments is waiting for you at the end, January 21st, before the fusion ends. You can pick up 50 fragments. That is from one summon rush. It's probably summon 7 to 11 sacred shards to make that happen, right? During the summon rush, just to catch up. So that's the catch up mechanic that this fusion has. That is always a good thing. But that 50 extra fragments is not distributed into any other events and tournament. That means for players like me who want 400 fragments of this Dawn Caller Sabita epic champion, you have to complete the entire fusion. I mean everything. You cannot skip on anything. Nothing can be skipped right here if you want the 400 fragments. So no cheats, no hacks in this fusion. You have to do everything. That's why this calendar is important. If you want a copy of this, I'll put the link directly from the Playrium forum website, where you can download a copy of this calendar, so you can mark off anything that you've done, so that you don't miss out on 25 fragments and end up going for this 50 extra. And now these 50 extra fragments they put there might be broken into 25. So if you missed out on only one event, maybe you want to go for that summon rush and get it. And this summon rush, most people always think that it will coincide with a what do you call it now? An event that will give you souls for Mad Hatter. People think that the souls for Mad Hatter will be snuck into that summon rush that you want to skip. So if you want souls for Mad Hatter, he might be into the summon rush. I don't know. I'm just speculating that normally summon rush that comes at the end of a fusion normally goes along with the soul stone summoning. I mean the soul summoning for the champion you just obtained. I'm just speculating there. So take note that you want to skip that summon rush at the end, but it might still make you want to summon some shards for it. So the fusion is starting today, Wednesday, January 8th, but nobody is doing anything in terms of the dungeons. Everybody is waiting until tomorrow, the 9th, Thursday, to start their Fire Night farming, because Fire Night does coincide with this Dungeon Divers 1. The Dungeon Divers this time around is looking a little bit short, which is a good thing. So the Fire Night will start for me officially tomorrow. So what am I doing today? Champion training. That's what I'm spending my resources on. Champion training. This champion training right here is what you should be doing today, with only free energy that you have that is about to expire, or you just got today, you don't want to save it till tomorrow. spend it in champion training today, taking champions to 20, 30, and putting food on them before you use them as chickens, right? We know that's old method, those strategies of doing champion training. Even if it looks very, very long, those strategies of taking champions to 4, 8, 16 before you use them as chickens makes this champion training a lot easier, right? So that's the first thing. If you've not done a gear cleanse before the Fire Night kicks off, today is the day to go ahead and start doing a gear cleanse, because Artifact Enhancement has launched. So I'll be live on stream, twitch.tv, finally doing my gear cleanse, because I'm currently over, have excess gear in my inbox, basically. See, 360 out of 400 free space. So I do not have any space to even farm the Fire Knight, so I'll be doing the gear cleanse for my own account live on stream if my power does not go out today. Anyways, so that's the artifact announcement that I'll be doing before the Fire Knight kicks off. You can also wait to farm some gear from the Fire Knight to do that artifact announcement. If you save some gear to 15, if you level up some champions to 15, today is the day to go over there and take them to 16 and get this artifact announcement knocked out before you get busy with champion training and Fire Knight farming. And Dungeon Divers, as usual, will end with a second event called Spider. So as I'm drawing the line, you can see this Spider does coincide with this first Dungeon Divers. That means you don't need to use the Fire Knight 1 to complete Dungeon Divers 1. You can use Fire Knight, farm it to a point, stop right there. Once Spider kicks up, you continue farming Spider, and once this Dungeon Divers is done, you stop farming Spider. Why are you stopping farming the Spider when this Dungeon Divers is done? Because there is another Dungeon Divers 2 coming up on Monday the 13th, which you can use to complete this Spider tournament. So you don't need to go crazy for the Spider. You don't need to spend your gems immediately the Spider kicks off. You can just take it slow with energy until this Dungeon Divers 1 is done. Then you can pause, take a break until Dungeon Divers 2 kicks off. So we still have that thing where we are using 2 dungeon events to do 1 Dungeon Divers. So let's see if it coincides with this second one. Spider will go ahead with Dungeon Divers 2, and then Ice Golem also cut into this second Dungeon Divers. So Ice Golem is the one we will use to complete Dungeon Divers 2. And the third Dungeon Divers, or will that be, yes, this time around there's a third Dungeon Divers. Unlike before where it was slipped into a different type of event, this time around you have Ice Golem still cutting across Dungeon Divers 3, and Champion Training also cutting into Dungeon Divers 3. So with that Champion Training and Dungeon Divers 3, you can complete it. Is there any other dungeon event? Dragon is also another one that you can use for Dungeon Divers 3. Why are they cutting it like this? Because Dungeon Divers points required to complete it is now so huge that one dungeon alone farming is not enough to complete it, except you want to keep going excessively. So remember, the best thing to do for newer players is to come down to level 20 dungeons to farm these long Dungeon Divers really efficiently. So I know you can beat 25 dungeons, I know you can beat hard mode dragon and all that, but it's better to come down to 20 so you can get your Dungeon Divers points fast. On a normal day, on a different day, you can farm your dungeons at the highest level, but today, or for this fusion, because of this Dungeon Divers points, it's best to do it at 20 or 25. I don't mind doing it at hard mode 10, even if it does cost a lot of resources in terms of energy to get Dungeon Divers done on hard mode content, right? All right, so now another key thing about this fusion calendar, I need to remove all these lines because they are all scattered right now. Another key thing that you need to note about this fusion calendar is that Champion Chase comes first before Summon Rush. Why is Champion Chase coming first? Because they don't want you to save these 100 fragments here, save 100 fragments here, save 100 fragments here, and then summon everything for a Champion Chase. They don't want you to use 3 epics to summon during a Champion Chase. If you do not know what I'm talking about, players usually save all the fragments they get during this fusion Sabita, right? You could save the fragments until Champion Chase to summon them. That's why Champion Chase is coming first this time around, so you don't have an opportunity of saving this fragment and getting free, how many points? 750 free points. You don't have an opportunity to do that this time around. You don't even have an opportunity to save 100 fragments of her for the first champion chase. I don't think it's possible, because you have 25 here, 25 here, 25 here, and 25 here. Yeah, you might be able to do it. Nah, except you go crazy for the first dungeon divers to complete it. That's the only way you can summon 1 fragment for free during this champion chase that is coming up. So this champion chase will be coming up. It does coincide with the 2x sacred event that I just talked about. And if you summon your sacred shards during their champion chase, you pray and hope you get legendaries, because they give you high amount of points, 500 points for the champion chase, right? 500, yes. So that's what you hope to happen, not just a bunch of epics from your sacred shards. So hopefully you can get it done, because the best way to spend your sacred shards besides 2x events is for this summon rush that will require you to also summon sacred shards. I don't know if you have any left by the time this summon rush comes around. Maybe from 1 more week you can get some more luck from the clan boss to save some summon, because if you spend all your summon, your sacred shards in this champion chase, which most players will do because it's a 2x, what are you going to use for summon rush? Because void shards, primal shards, mystery shards, because normally I would love to use mystery shards to complete this freaking summon rush for 25 fragments. Or another smart idea most players might not want to do is miss out on these 25 fragments right here and go for 25 fragments in here, hoping that it has soul stones for this champion or perfect souls for this champion, or split souls for this champion. I don't know. It's all about strategy. But take note, the champion chase is coming first. That's the only 2 tricks that I think is involved in this calendar. Aligning your fire knight, aligning your dragon, aligning your spider, aligning your ice golem to always coincide with those dungeon divers, 1 dungeon divers, 2 dungeon divers, 3, and also deciding what shard you want to use for this champion chase, and deciding what shard you want to use for the summon rush, deciding whether you want to skip this summon rush and go for the second one, or deciding whether you want to skip champion chase. That's another strategy. Number 3 strategy: skip this entire champion chase that is going on tomorrow, skip this entire summon rush that is going on, and go for this one that has 50 fragments. You still meet up, but that other one at the end is not a 2x. It's probably going to be a 15x. It's probably going to be a deck of fates. It's probably going to be a soulstone summon for Mad Hatter's perfect souls. We don't know what it's going to be, basically. But so you have the risk: either skip the summon rush, skip the other champion chase, and go for the last one, or no. I'd love to hear your strategies that you're planning in this fusion, because if you plan now, you can decide to, make sure you don't miss out on anything that is going on during this fusion. All right, so that's everything that is special right here that you need to take a look at. Artifact enhancement 1, artifact enhancement 2, artifact enhancement 3 is standard. That's silver drain that will prevent the noob to pro that I just started January 1st from going for a fusion. The silver drain for 3 artifact enhancements will not let me go for a fusion. The energy drain for 3 dungeon diver events will not allow me go for this fusion. For a newer account, this has always been their number 1 problem in raid: silver and energy. Even right now, even if you have the shards, enough sacred shards or mystery shards or even ancient shards to complete the 2 summoning events, these other 2 events will always be a hindrance. Except there are other sources and events, or except you can be very efficient with your shards and with your energy, especially if you've been saving even before the fusion comes around. Right, so one more thing I want to mention for newer players going for their first or second fusion is make sure that you prepare the potions required for these epics, because all these epics will need to be taken to 5-star if you go into the portal fusion. It's now in the old school fusion. Remember, it's a mix. It's not just fragments where you get 4 copies of this champion. You need to get 400 fragments of her, and then summon her from here. Summon, and then when you finally summon these 4, you can go into your fusion portal and put them in here. Put the next one in here. 4 copies of her. You need to take those 4-star champions to 5, right, and put your brews to make them go faster, or to get them to 50 faster, or you go into the potion keep and also farm the potion. So how many potions would you need? Going back to this cold brew potion fusion calendar. How many do you need? Let me move it to the side so you can see it clearly. There you go. So you need a total of 12 of the superior potions, that's for arcane. You need 80 of the greater for arcane, but for the void, because all the 4 epics are void, you need 80 superior, you need 80 of the greater void potions, and you need 24 of the superior ones. So if there is any downtime, maybe some right now as the fusion starts, you don't want to farm Fire Knight today, you can go spend energy today in those potion keeps. Well, it's not open till Sunday, potion keep is not open, but you can farm the arcane required. So even if you don't do it right now, there are many, 2 or 3 Sundays within this fusion period. Go ahead and get those ones ready if you do not farm it before the fusion kicks off, because there is no rare this time around. I think the potion required are lower, but if there were rares, I think the potion required would be a little bit higher. So that's the fusion for Mad Hatter, and that's the fusion plan breakdown and what I plan to do about it. I've not decided yet. I love 2x sacred shard events. You can see I have 30 sacred shards saved up right here, so I can comfortably go for this 2x this weekend. But will I need to summon all my sacred shards? It's been a while I did anything like that, but I want to always be one of those players who saved 20 sacred shards for a guaranteed legendary that is coming up. So there is no way an endgame player is summoning 30 sacred shards during a 2x for a champion chase. No, the smart thing that I will do tomorrow is summon enough sacred shards to complete that champion chase and call it a day. Just enough sacred shards to complete that champion chase and I'll call it a day. There is no reason to keep going crazy. So I always make sure I stay up to 20 for the next event that is coming up. So that's my plan. That's what I tend to do about this champion chase that is coming up, because I still love 2x event, but I'm not gonna risk getting a guaranteed legendary just because I'm chasing a 2x. Also, enough sacred shards saved up will keep me in line with anything that I throw into the summon rush that I don't know yet what it will look like. And yeah, I'm ready for the fusion. Even if he's a champion that I fully intend to obtain and throw into my vault immediately I get him, it's not bad. We are still playing Pokemon Raid Shadow Legends, where we catch them all, whether we need them or not, we just tag them in there. You don't know when these champions will become viable and useful in one content due to a buff or due to a new content that is released. So despite you don't plan to use them in any content right now, I still want to obtain them and keep them until one day where they will become useful for my endgame account. As for the new to pro, like I said earlier, the new to pro will not be going for this fusion because we simply don't have the resources required to go for a difficult fusion like this. We don't. I might try and struggle and end up halfway along the way and fail it due to not having enough silver or not having enough shards. So I don't even want to put myself in that situation where I end up with 320 fragments, but I'm sure to get one copy of that epic champion, because she's gonna be amazing, at least for that Nitro faction, if not for any other team, because I already have Rector and other revivers in the account, right? Let me know in the comments what you think about this fusion. Are you going for it, and what's your strategy? Are you skipping the first champion chase, the second summon rush, and going all the way for the last? And take note, if you miss out on anything during the fusion, you can always catch up at the end with that last summon rush, which is also looks like a good thing, but at the same time it might be put into another event that endgame players who already went for these 2 events would not want to also miss this one. Alright, that's all I have for you guys about the information for this fusion for Mad Hatter. Make sure you like and subscribe for more daily raid content. Good luck to you going for that summon rush this Friday, and please subscribe to be one of the 27% of players who have subscribed to this channel who watch on a daily, and not one of the 72% of players who don't subscribe. Thank you guys.